Hello friends, welcome to Bookish Mushroom. My name is Isa and today we are going to be reviewing all of the books that I read in 2024. In 2024, I read 15 books. Now, my goal was 20, but it still feels like I did quite a bit. But I am a very slow reader. I do tend to take my time with books. I don't read every day. I don't have the habit of doing that, although I do want to have it. But I think one of the things that helped the most for me to get books read was using audiobooks. Before we get started, I want to talk about the books I'm currently reading, and that is Zodiac Academy, The Awakening. This is the first book in the Zodiac Academy series. This is by Carolyn Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. I am loving this so far. I think I'm like 28% through to the book. I'm taking my time with this one, but I'm 29% through. But I am really liking it. It's really fun. I love the aspect of going to a school that has magic, like an academy, like a Zodiac Academy, and also it's like element based, and I love that so much. I am an astrology geek. I don't delve too much into it, so I don't know if I would call myself really a geek, but I do find an interest in it, and this one just like is calling to me so much. I'm listening to the audiobook as well, the graphic audiobook, and it's pretty nice so far. I'm liking it a lot, so hope to be finished with this soon. Another book that I'm currently reading is Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. This copy was gifted to me by my boyfriend. This was his copy. This is the first book that he's kind of read in his like adulthood, and it kind of got him into reading. So he gave this to me as a gift. He tried not to rip the spine because he knows I like cute books on my bookshelves. Bless him. So yeah, he gave me his copy and I'm currently 119 pages in. This is a chunky book. Like, not only is it chunky like physically, but it feels like it's also chunky material wise. It just feels like a lot. So I've taken my sweet time with it. I haven't read since September. It's currently January the 7th. So I kind of think I'm gonna have to like get started again. I might listen to the graphic audiobook to the point where I'm caught up in the book, and that way I just don't have to like read everything. The worst thing is that I was really liking it. I don't know why I stopped. I think I got kind of in a little bit of a slump, but I was really liking it, so looking forward to finishing this as well. I also want to read more Brandon Sanderson books because my boyfriend's absolutely obsessed with him. And not only my boyfriend, like everyone else is obsessed with Brandon Sanderson, so I want to get into it. I want to know what the hype's about. That being said, my expectations are low. I don't really go into books having really high expectations because I just expect to like the book, like not love it, but just enjoy my time reading. And I think that's the best kind of expectation to have while going into books. Yeah, just hoping to have a good time reading this. And then hopefully after I finish this, I will get into another book from Sanderson. Another book I'm currently reading is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I love this book. Okay, so reason why I'm rereading. I got Once Upon a Broken Heart. I think it's here. Once Upon a Broken Heart back in August for my birthday. My boyfriend also gifted it to me. And I love Caraval, right? Legendary, over here, is one of my favorite books ever. I love Legendary so much, and I never read Finale. I don't know why. I just never did. So I decided, it's been a long time since I reread Legendary. I've read Legendary twice, and I reread it back in 2022, 2023. It feels like so long ago, honestly, so I don't remember anything, even though I love that book so much, but I've never actually reread Caraval. And so these are the tabs I had for my first read. This was back when I was not annotating my books, so I was like, oh no, it's gonna ruin it. Back then, I didn't know that actually writing on my books was gonna make the experience of reading a book much more personal. I have nothing against people who don't annotate books, but that's just my opinion. I read this back in 2017, which is crazy! What do you mean 2017? It's insane! So yeah, Caraval. Amazing book. Love this world. I'm currently, I think, I'm 146 pages in. And the reason why I haven't actually finished it in like 2 days, because I'm also listening to the audiobook, is because I want to annotate the reread. So I can't really annotate while I'm doing other things. So I could have finished it in like 2 days, but I haven't had the free time to actually, get that done. Oh my god! There's a bug. What the fuck is that? What are you? Leave now. Get out of my house. Who are you? What are you? Where did you come from? Thread has been neutralized. It actually hasn't. I just put it in a glass jar. I'm gonna take it outside. Oh, that scared me. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I wouldn't say I'm scared of bugs, but I would say I'm scared of being surprised by them. Like not knowing that they're there and them showing up. It's like a jump scare. So like I don't mind dealing with them, but it's definitely scary to like see them like, hello. You know, we've got rid of thread. Right. Where were we? I don't know. I got scared. Like I said, I loved reading Caraval. It was really fun at the time, and I hope that I can relive all the magic and all the world in this book, because I loved this world so much. I feel like it's the one book that I felt so like into the world. It's so descriptive. Like I opened this book and just like a mist of like pink and cloud, like I don't know how to explain. It's just like so magical, and it feels magical. Like when you're reading the book, you feel in the book. And so I love that aspect of this book. It's also amazing. I love the characters in these books. So yeah, I never read Finale, so I can't wait to get to it once I read Caraval Legendary. And then once I finish Finale, I can get to Once Upon a Broken Heart. And then the last book I'm also currently reading is In the Company of Witches by Orly Wallace. I saw this book recommended on Heather McClary's channel for like a cozy vibe, cozy book, witchy as well. So I picked it up back in like October. Yeah, I'm taking my sweet time with this book. I feel like what I need to do with this book is I want to sit down, light some candles, put on ambient music, witchy music, and get to reading like nonstop. Because I think I struggled a little bit with this book at the beginning because I would just get distracted all the time and I would just read like 5 pages a day. And so that kind of breaks apart the flow of reading. So I think for sure I need to like give this book a try again from the start, even though I'm currently reading it. I'm just like 10% into it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read it from the start and just actually dedicate time to sitting down, reading, actually put in full focus here. So yeah, those are all the books I'm currently reading. Now on to the books that I read in 2024. So the first book I read in 2024 was Kiss the Sky by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is the first book in the Callaway series. That's a spin-off of the Addicted series. I loved it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. This is, I think, my favorite of the couples, of the pairings. I love Lily and Lo. They're like so cute and they're like close to my heart. And then Rose and Connor, they're like, I love them so much. I love the tension between them. I love how they work together. And then Reich and Daisy, I also love them, but they're just like slightly below Lily and Lo. Lily and Lo are just like, I love them so much. They have all of my heart. So yeah, I gave Kiss the Sky 4 out of 5 stars. I loved the characters. They actually felt like real people. I found myself wondering about them once I finished the book. I still think about them even though I haven't picked up like an Addicted / Callaway book in a bit, but I love them so much. They're like so close to my heart. That's family right there. That's Ohana. So yeah, loved this book. After Kiss the Sky, I immediately jumped to Hot House Flower by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is the second book in the Callaway Sisters series, and I also gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I, for the longest time, thought it was Hot House Flower, not Hot House Flower. This is what I got for being a non-English native speaker. Loved these books as well so much. Reich and Daisy are such a good pairing. I love them. I always think of them like adrenaline junkies. Like for me, they're just like crazy in the head, and I love them for that. Like I said, for me, my favorite couples are Rose and Connor, Lily and Lo, and then Reich and Daisy, but they're all like so close to each other. Oh, I love this family so much. This like found family aspect of the books is just the best. I love it so much. I don't know how else to review it because I've just genuinely forgot to like write any sort of review. So yeah, after I finished Hot House Flower, I read Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. I think this is the first in a duology, if I'm correct. Yeah, so it's the first in a duology, but I did not know that. I just thought like it sounded familiar that it was a duology. It might be a series, but it just shows so far that it's only 2 books. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Noah Riley, the man that you are. I love him so much. You don't understand. He might be one of my favorite book boyfriends. This being said, I have heavy book amnesia with every single book I read. So I kind of don't remember what happened in the book. I kind of want to like reread it as well. I remember reading this and being like, oh my god, I love this book so much. I also remember like yapping to my boyfriend about it. Like I explained like every single thing that happened and he was like, oh really? Wow. No way. Needless to say that I really, really like this book to the point of like explaining the entire plot to my boyfriend at the time, like when I was reading it. Currently reading my review and I wrote the last 150 pages have me gasping left and right. I don't remember what happened. I'm gonna be so honest. But if it was enough to give it a 4.5 out of 5, then maybe I was right, you know? And it's also got a really good rating overall. So pick it up. Do look at some trigger warnings though. I don't trust myself enough to list all of them. Please, if you want to get into any sort of books that I talk about in this review, do look up at the trigger warnings just because I do read a little bit of dark stuff. So I don't want you to like get blindsided by any of my recommendations. So do please look up the trigger warning. Keep that in mind. After I finished Say You Swear, I read The Da Vinci Code. Crazy switch in genre. I read this book in Spanish. I have the Spanish copy and I read it and I absolutely loved this book. I give it 5 out of 5 stars. It is such a good book. It's a modern classic for a reason. Oh my gosh, I did not know that like religious type of things could be so interesting. I loved the mystery aspect of it and the detective-y aspect of it. I've never read this type of genre before, so I was hugely pleasantly surprised by this book. I annotated so much of it. I literally wrote like a review on the back of it. I love how we finished exactly where we started. I was gonna say 4.5, but honestly I can't really find anything that I didn't like, so 5 out of 5 stars. Loved this book. It was so exciting to read. I never would have thought this would be the kind of book I would enjoy, much less love. The writing was fast and never stopping action, which I love. Anyways, loved it. The pace, like I said, was so fast. It was never ending action. It just like every single chapter was just like fast. Like every single chapter something was happening and it wasn't just boring dialogue. Like it was so interesting to read. It's kind of like a puzzle falling into place and I really, really enjoyed that. So 5 out of 5 stars to The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. Next book I read was Offside by Avery Kuhn. This is the first book in a trilogy called Rules of the Game. I gave this book 3.75 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this. However, the miscommunication trope will be the death of me. Oh my gosh, how hard is it to communicate? Oh, it literally drives me insane. It drives me mad. How hard is it to communicate? Like actually. Also, one thing I'm not a huge fan of, although it's just like, it's almost in every book, in epilogues when people do jump cuts to the future, like that I don't know why it pisses me off so bad, but it does. It's like, give me more books so we can get to the point, like to that point in time. Give me more books. I don't want to miss out. Like if I'm enjoying the book and if I'm enjoying the relationship between the two, I want to see that kind of happening. Although I do understand how that's like kind of impossible to get like a 9-year time cut in like a couple books and stuff like that. Like that's kind of impossible. But I did enjoy this book. It was a fun read and I enjoyed it, but the miscommunication trope just drives me crazy. And also 3.75 is not a bad rating at all. It just wasn't like, wow, the best book ever written, in my opinion. So yeah. Next book I read was Haunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton. I give this book 3.75 out of 5 stars. Oh my gosh, this book was a lot. For the first like half of the book, I would say, it was really difficult for me to read. It was very slow. I think this book kind of put me in a book slump and it was very difficult for me to like get through it. And so I stopped reading for like a month and a half. And then I went back to it after that month and a half of not reading it. And I really enjoyed kind of like the last third of the book. After that, it was like page after page, like so fast. I think like after that month and a half of not reading it, I read it in like 2 weeks. I finished reading it in 2 weeks. So yeah, it just For me, it was a little bit hit miss. I don't know what it was. I think it's maybe the writing. To me, I was like, oh my god, I can't, like, it was a task to kind of like put myself to read. This like has nothing to do with the book, but when I first started reading it, I had nightmares of being stalked, and I woke up like sweating, like drenched in sweat, just like terrified for my life. It was bad. Yeah, that's also one of the reasons why I like didn't want to continue reading it at first. It was like, okay, this is like mentally touching me, and I don't want that. So that's also one of the reasons why I stopped reading as well. It kind of put me in a book slump. I did enjoy that last like third of the book, which is why I gave it like kind of like a high rating. But thinking back on it, kind of wish I gave it like a 3.5. I could change ratings. It wasn't like a crazy book that I was like head over heels about. So yeah, but I did enjoy the ending. That was pretty cool. Nothing crazy though. So that's Haunting Adeline. After that, I read Twisted Hate by Ana Huang. That's the third book in the Twisted series. I read in paperback. Those books are so floppy. I love them so much. And I annotated the out of it. Oh my god, that book is probably the book that I've most annotated in my life. I don't understand how I did it, but there's like one specific page. I won't show it because I don't want to spoil it. There's like a page near the end of the book that it's like, you can't really read anything because there's just like so much happening on the page annotation wise that's just really difficult. And my cousin sent me a picture like, girl, how do you read this? Like, what? I can't concentrate. Yeah, I gave it 4.75 out of 5 stars. I loved this book so much. It was so fun, such a fun read. I thought that the characters were believable. Josh and Jules are like perfect together. For me, ranking wise, it's like Twisted Game, Twisted Hate, and then Twisted Love. I've yet to read Twisted Lies, which is the 4th book. Everyone tells me it's the best book in the series and I need to get to it, but my cousin, she currently has Twisted Lies. If she doesn't finish by like the end of January, I'm gonna be claiming my book back so I can like officially read it, because I really, really, really want to read it. After that, I read Losers Part 2 by Harley LaRue. Oh my gosh, I loved this book. I give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. The way that I have like so much love for all of these characters. I love them so much. They're like probably like my favorite found family. I look back on these books. It's The Dare, which is like the prequel, I guess, like a prequel novella. And then you have Losers Part 1 and Losers Part 2. It's found family, it's reverse harem, it's 1 girl and 4 boys. And Lucas, he's my favorite one. I love you, Lucas. Lucas and Vincent are like, I love them so much. I wish I could have them to myself. Book boyfriends, absolutely, yes. Here's my review, what I wrote on Fable. Absolutely loved this book. It was quite easy to read most of the time, and I was pleasantly surprised at how easy it was to come back to this universe. Alex can literally rot and piss. All their dynamics in the relationship felt real, and it was very nice to see a group of people in a relationship just showing up for each other and really taking care of each other. It made my heart very mushy. These books, you need to read the trigger warnings because there's quite a bit of trigger warning-ish things, but I loved these books. They were so smutty, so good. I genuinely just loved them so much. So that's Losers Part 2 by Harley LaRue. I will say I did wish that the ending was kind of more laid out a little bit. It felt kind of rushed, but that maybe I'm just like greedy and wanted more of these characters that I love so much. The next book I read was Just for the Summer by Avi Jimenez. Oh my gosh! This book, 5 out of 5 stars. Oh my gosh. It was so good. I loved this book so much. If you didn't know, I have a video, I think it's my first vlog reading this book. So if you want to go check it out, I didn't vlog like start to finish reading that book, but I did vlog me reading it, like a little section of it. Justin, man, you are Justin! I love a man who shows up for you. Like, acts of service. This is like the perfect man for acts of service trope. I love him so much. He was so cute. He was so attentive. Like, he loves the FMC so much. and it just warms my heart. Like, they're so cute together, and he just kept trying and trying to like be better and just like making the relationship work. And just Justin, the man that you are. Oh god. So yeah, loved this book so much. It was also my first Abby Jimenez book, so definitely coming back to read more of her books. Very easy to read as well. I loved this book. Oh, I have it here. Why do I keep forgetting that I have the books with me? Also annotated it so much. Like, you can't really see it, but I highlighted so many things. They're just like, oh, I love them so much. It also had me kicking my feet so much. Oh my gosh. Just the stage of getting to know each other, for me, that in books is just like perfect. It felt like slowly but surely they were like getting to know each other, and their love was kind of like blossoming. That was Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. Next book I read was Lights Out by Nevessa Allen. I give this book 5 out of 5 stars. This was a surprising read for me. Like, I did not expect to like it as much as I did. Oh my gosh, like actual favorite. I had to buy it physically, so I listened to it on audiobook, and I also read it on Kindle, like as I was like simultaneously doing it. The audiobook was so freaking fun. I loved it so much. It's a book worth rereading just to like re-listen to the audiobook, I guess. It was such a surprisingly fun read, and I loved the characters. Allie was so smart and like just interesting character. Like, I loved her sassiness and just like how much of a bad bitch she was. And then Josh, love of my life. I appear to have a type because Josh from Twisted Hate, and then Josh from Lights Out, and then my boyfriend's also called Josh, so I appear to have a type, and I'm not ashamed. But loved him so much. Like, I don't know how to explain just like how much of a fun read this was, and how much of an interesting read it was. Like, it just kept me hooked on the story at all times. It was just such a fun read. The smut was perfect. It was like tailored to me. The banter between them was so good as well. I loved how Josh could be like a soft and like hard type of person. Like, what do you mean you're a golden retriever with the cutest like personality ever, and then you're also a stalker? Like, what do you mean? The duality goes crazy with him. Highly recommend the audiobook if you can get that. Please get it instead of like the actual book. But I do enjoy like annotating and listening as well, so I got both. I also ordered the physical copy, and I'm probably gonna re-listen and reread the book when it gets here, so I can like re-annotate the things that I wrote on my Kindle. I'm gonna write it on the book as well, so very happy about that happening very, very soon. I don't think I've ever been so excited to reread a book, and that doesn't happen often, so I just can't wait. I should tell you all about it. Trigger warnings, look them up. After reading Lights Out, I read The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore. This is a 3.5 out of 5 stars read for me. In my opinion, it felt like very insta-love, and as I read more romance and read more books in general, I realize the tropes that I like and the tropes that I don't, and insta-love for sure is one of those that I don't like. It's not miscommunication, where it's like the top of the things that I don't like, but it's definitely like near top 5. Insta-love for me just doesn't feel realistic, and I say that even though my boyfriend and I said each other I love you like since we met. Take from that what you will. But I thought it was a really cute book, very cozy, but it's more there for the vibes. It didn't feel crazy like with plot, like the characters felt very bland. It is just Gilmore Girls, like Stars Hollow on a book, but I wish it had a little bit more depth. I did find myself looking at characters from Gilmore Girls and finding them in the book, like the equivalent to them. So felt kind of weird. But yeah, it's a very cute book, cozy, very beautiful cover. I love it. But I don't know if I'll be continuing on with this series, if this is kind of like the quality of the writing or kind of like the tropes as well. It just felt very like slow and nothing was really happening. I recommend this if you want a fast read, like a fast atmospheric read for like fall, autumn. If you're looking for a small town romance, but it's insta-love, like if you like that type of thing, then this is the book for you. But to me, it just felt very rushed and it didn't like have enough depth. I didn't really end up caring about the characters just because it felt so quick. So yeah, Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laura Gilmore. After that, I read First Love by Lily Danziger. Lily Danziger, this book, oh my god, this is my favorite book of 2024. Oh my gosh, this book was absolutely a masterpiece, and I'll just read to you the review that I wrote. This might be my favorite book of the year. It is. This book was so incredibly good, it makes me want to reread it all over again. This is the first time I've read an essay collection book, and it's not going to be the last. I absolutely adore this book and everything in it. I felt so connected to the writer and the way she laid everything out. This book of love was so easy to read, so easy to follow. My heart broke a couple of times throughout the book as there are some triggers that are quite heavy. I don't know what compelled me to pick up the book, but I am so incredibly happy to have done it. This book just felt like such a beautiful, like, I don't know how to, like, I'm speechless, and no book before has done that. Like, my heart is in that book. I really need to get a physical copy. It's like 24 euros though. So when I have that kind of money to spare, I'll definitely be getting that. Read it on Kindle, and it was just such a beautiful experience. I read it across a couple of days, and every day I would pick up the book and read an essay or read half an essay and come back to it and just like think about it and just digest what I was reading. And just, it was so beautiful, so heartbreaking at some points, but I was reading about several different female friendships and how they kind of shape who you are and stuff like that, and it was just so beautiful. It just made me long for kind of like a very strong support system in female friendships that I currently don't have. So yeah, it made me reflect on who I am and the people around me, and I feel like books that make you reflect on who you are kind of really good books. That just might be my opinion though. But yeah, really love this book. If you can pick it up, please do. It warmed my heart. It genuinely, like, a piece of my heart is in that book. So yeah, First Love by Lily Danziger. After that, I read Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I give it 3.75 out of 5 stars. This book to me wasn't crazy. Like, I don't know, I was kind of expecting a little bit more, but also just wasn't expecting much. So yeah, there are some beautiful additions from tutorials in Spanish that are just gorgeous. Like, they're so pretty. Oh my gosh. And I wish I could get them and take them home with me, but they're in Spanish and I want the actual version in English. And either way, I didn't like Icebreaker enough to have it in my shelves. Yeah, I liked it, don't get me wrong. I didn't love it, but I did enjoy the book. It wasn't anything crazy. It did compel me to keep on reading on the series. So at least that's good, because I also really loved Wildfire. I'll talk about that in the end of the video, because that's the last book I read in 2024. But yeah, it wasn't like crazy good in my opinion. It wasn't like a favorite book, but I did have fun. Nothing to go against it really, just that it felt a little bit bland on my part. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. It just wasn't my cup of tea, but I liked it. Like, I enjoyed it. It just wasn't my favorite cup of tea. It's just like, I would like to have it now and then. I don't know how to explain this. But yeah, so that was fun. I enjoyed it, but nothing crazy. After that, I read Pumpkinheads by Faith Erin Hicks and Rainbow Rowell. Oh my gosh. This is a reread. This is one of my favorite books ever. This is a 5 out of 5 stars. Like, there's no other way to not give this 5 out of 5 stars. This is such a beautiful book. It's giving cozy autumn vibes in the best way possible. It's a graphic novel. I'll show you some pages. It's such a beautiful book. It's so beautifully illustrated. And I am actually in love with these characters. Josiah and Deja are so freaking cute. I love them so much. This is just like the perfect cozy book if you want to read it on like an autumn night. You can read it like this. I have a vlog of me reading this. It's actually my last vlog before this one. I posted it quite late. I was supposed to post it in like October when I read this, and I posted it in December. So, you know, it's whatever. But love this book. If you want to have all of my thoughts and all of my reviews, please go check that video out. It's very cozy and very autumnal. So 5 out of 5 stars, no notes. And then finally, my last book I read in 2024 was Wildfire by Hannah Grace. This is the second book in the Maple Hill series. I really like this book. I gave it 4.25 out of 5 stars. I really liked the character of Russ. He's absolutely so freaking cute. I have a thing, I think, for reserved and cute golden retriever type of guys in books. Like, they're so cute. I can't. Like, they're just so adorable, and I kind of need them really badly. Like, expeditiously. But they are very adorable, and I really like this pairing. I loved the fact that, kind of like spoilery warnings, they kind of know each other from a one-night stand at the beginning of the book. And they go to a summer camp without really knowing that each other was going to be there. They kind of thought it was a one-night stand and they wouldn't see each other again. And I loved that it was kind of like a forbidden type of romance. Like, they weren't supposed to be together in the summer camp. So I really liked that we didn't really have smut all the way through the book. It kind of gave that space of forbidden romance to kind of develop the characters a little bit and develop their love for each other and their attraction for each other without it going to straight up smut every single scene. So I really enjoyed that about the book. And yeah, Ross Callahan, beautiful boyfriend, so cute. I love him. I will say the epilogue fucked me up. Not because it was like cute and pretty and whatever, but because it was like 9 years after the book. What do you mean? No, why would you do that? Like, I hate it. I hate it when people do jump cuts so far into the future. It hurts my soul. I want to know what happened in the middle of that end of the book and 9 years after. What do you mean? That's a long ass jump cut. I'm sorry. I just get mad. I don't like jump cuts, even though I know that they're sometimes necessary, but it pisses me off. Same thing happened to me when I first watched Endgame. What do you mean 5 years later? Show it to me, Rachel. Show me what happened in those 5 years. Show me what happened in those 9 years. What do you mean there's a 9-year time skip? I don't understand how authors do it. I don't. So, yeah. Really good book though. I really enjoyed it. Not my favorite book of all times, but I did really like it. So yeah, those are all the books I read in 2024. I rambled quite a bit in this video, but either way, I hope that you enjoyed it and that you liked it. Please go check out my other videos. I talk about some of the books that I read in 2024 in those videos. I'm actually reading them in those videos, so do go check them out. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to grow and kind of be more consistent with this channel, so I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to me. If you want to follow me on socials, I have Bookstagram called Bookish Mushrooms, same thing as this channel, and I have a art account called Starry Tree Studio, which you can follow. I have really cute animal drawings and just cottagecore-y style of drawing. So please do follow me over there if you want to support me in any way possible. Write to me in the comments down below if you've read any of these books, if you gave it a rating, if you didn't like them, if you liked it. As always, please be respectful when writing things down, and remember that this is a safe space. Like I said, this is the end of the video, so thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next one, and Happy New Year's. Bye!